Welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idle, and I don't want this to become the Andrew Tate channel. I know I posted a video yesterday about him and his relation with Piers Morgan and the hack, and today I'm doing another about some drama between him and that cretin Greta Thunberg. But I don't know, fun stories like this just, they captivate me, especially considering this one is from Rolling Stone, which is famous for their abysmal takes. So I wanted to go over this and see what little monicums of joy we can find in this cold, dark world. Greta Thunberg doesn't care about Andrew Tate's cars, but has an idea of what they're overcompensating for. Oh dear. The famously misogynistic personality's attempts at taunting the 19-year-old climate activist resulted in her referring to his small dick energy at getalife.com. Alright, let's go through here because... Is there something wrong with this girl? I feel like maybe there actually is, so I'm going to come off as kind of a jerk, but she doesn't look 19. She looks kind of like a sick doll. Like, if someone said, hey, guess this thing's age, I would look at this and assume 14 and sick, but okay, maybe that's just what you get when you spend all your time out of school in, like, Arctic waters not getting any sort of good nutrients. I don't know. Andrew Tate's Twitter account was reinstated in late November after Elon Musk lifted a 5-year ban in place, largely due to the kickboxer turned internet personality's excessive and often violent misogyny. Tweets can't be violent. Just throwing that out there. Like, your tweet cannot come off your phone and stab you in the gut, no matter if you deserve it or not because you're an awful person. So, alright, violent misogyny. We're already getting some propaganda here. Let's go. And by the way, I'm not a big Andrew Tate fan. I don't really care about the guy or like him. I just find the news around him is always somewhat entertaining. So don't take this as me defending him or defending Greta Thunberg. I think they're both idiots, but all on board the train to Chuckletown. Most recently, he has used his return to the platform to taunt climate activist Greta Thunberg, bragging about his 33 cars and their enormous emissions to the 19-year-old who, to his surprise, couldn't care less. Regardless of who you are, that is funny. The idea of some super jacked bald dude with was it 33? Yeah, 33 cars hopping on Twitter and being like, all this work you're trying to do to stop climate change, I'm gonna undo it. I'm gonna undo it just to spite you. Like, it's clown world and I love it. Please provide your email address so I can send a complete list of my car collection and their respective enormous emissions, Tate wrote to Thunberg. Yes, please do enlighten me, she responded, his ego likely soaring before crashing down to the unsparing takedown that followed in the second half of the tweet. Email me at smalldickenergy@getalife.com. I mean, to be fair, as much as I disagree with and don't like Greta Thunberg, that's fair. That's a good comeback. Like, someone comes at you with some... what they think is going to be harsh realities, like, oh, I'm coming at you with an attack, and just to slam them down like that, both are funny. I can't even, I try and remain objective. That was a pretty good takedown. Unable to fathom that Thunberg not only doesn't find his collection of expensive cars fascinating, but also has zero interest in engaging in conversation with him in any capacity beyond calling out his STE, the only response Tate was able to come up with was a question of disbelief. How dare you? I don't find that is a question of disbelief. That is him taking her smackdown and trying to throw his own back at her, which, I'll be honest, kind of low-hanging fruit. I feel like anyone can respond to her with that when she says something. I wish for something more original, but I mean, it does work. Alright, so here's a screenshot of it. Oh man, homeboy owns a Bugatti? Say what you will about Tate, he owns a Bugatti. That's pretty impressive. There's something to be said about starting things you can't finish. Well, I wouldn't say he didn't finish them. They didn't even start anything. It was Twitter drama, but alright. Thunberg is currently heading into the 228th week of a climate strike. She started in 2018 at the age of 15. Yeah, a climate strike. So basically, she has got to chill out and spend the last 4 years not going to school. What an awesome protest. When I was a kid, I should have done something similar. What? Duke Nukem Forever is delayed again? Video game industry strike. I'm not going to school until the game comes out. That's honestly the small vag energy I get from Greta Thunberg. Meanwhile, Tate couldn't manage to keep his head afloat during a 3-tweet Twitter exchange that he started himself completely unprovoked. Tate's 5-year suspension from Twitter clearly didn't make anyone's heart grow fonder in his absence. Maybe he'll have better luck on getalife.com. Well, okay. Short and sweet article, I know. But frankly, I worked for like 4 or 6 hours, a super long time, on that Chainsaw Man review, which I do really recommend you go and watch, especially if you're an anime fan. And even if you're not, just to support little old me. But yeah, this is kind of incredible, and it's sort of a lead-in to the next story, the one that I truly want to cover. And that is how the media is spinning this and what we need to notice and learn from it. Let's hop over to a certain Google tab I have open. So, if we go right here, if we just type in Greta Thunberg and go to news. Greta Thunberg claps back at Andrew Tate on Twitter. Greta Thunberg's savage reply to celeb fixing his supercar emissions. Greta Thunberg one-ups Andrew Tate on Twitter. Greta Thunberg roasts kickboxing champion Andrew Tate. Do you notice anything about all these? They're all propping up this 19-year-old girl that has a particular message politically that hasn't actually done anything with her life of note or interest. She quit going to school and said, "How dare you," and it got memed. Like, don't get me wrong, Andrew Tate's not exactly all that interesting either. Homeboy, sort of not interesting. He's very interesting, but in a very different way. For one, you can't deny his kickboxing. I mean, 73 wins in a row or whatever, undefeated. That's impressive. But anything after that, yeah, the dude's a character. They're both cartoon characters. They're equally ghoulish, far left and far right extremist cartoon caricatures of what the regular political aisles are like. However, only one is getting demonized while the other is getting propped up like some sort of Mother Teresa of the environment. And we can just scroll through and see not anyone reporting positively on this event. First of all, there's so many articles about this when it's a nothing burger. But look at this. We can keep going. Andrew Tate comes at Greta Thunberg and misses. Enlighten me. Greta Thunberg has brutal comeback to Andrew Tate. Greta Thunberg doesn't care. It keeps going. Humiliates Andrew Tate after enormous... I mean, the first page is literally all... Let's go to page number 2. Did Greta Thunberg mock a Twitter troll with small dick? Like... And then, okay, so finally on the second page, second down, we have what kind of car does Greta Thunberg drive? And then just right back into device of Andrew Tate. Tate's attempt at Greta. It goes right back to it. We have, in 2 pages so far, one piece of information under the news category that isn't about her and Andrew Tate. Does this not bother you? I feel like this should really bother you, that this is the sort of news we're getting. I mean, I get it. I typed in Greta Thunberg. But is that all I should see is her 3-tweet interaction with a Twitter troll? Where is the actual news, or where is the impartial news? All of those, you could clearly say, took her side. From the headline alone, you could tell they were taking her side. Now, obviously, I never go off headlines, and you should never go off headlines either. Get into the article, read it. But I'm just saying, from the headline alone, you can see the bias. That should worry you. 2 Google pages and not a single dissenting voice. Even if a dissenting voice is wrong, it should at least be out there so it can be called out. Why are we okay with seeing this? And why are so many news articles okay with making dollars off of something so dumb when there's far bigger and more important stories out there? I mean, we've got Elon Musk out there on Twitter still talking trash on Fauci. You would think there'd be plenty of articles about that, but I went through my recommended for you, and let me tell you, I'm kind of an Elon Musk fanboy. A lot of Elon Musk stuff pops up in my news articles, but they don't have any referring to him and Fauci, or at least nothing of note, and I wonder why that is, because Elon shared an article that literally proves Fauci's a liar earlier on Twitter today. But where's the coverage of that? I mean, I'm not going to bother covering it because much bigger outlets than me, like the Quartering, already have that covered, already have it on lock. But that doesn't alter the fact that anything talking about how great Elon is hasn't popped up on my recommended for you tab. The catering of narratives towards one side and not the other, and with no way to be impartial, that should worry you. The fact that Greta Thunberg and Andrew Tate are dominating the news cycle should worry you, because There's so much more going on. Was this hilarious? Absolutely. Is it something that we're going to remember in 6 months? Absolutely not, because Andrew Tate's going to do something even dumber and even more funny, and Greta Thunberg is going to, I guess, not go back to school. Like, that's kind of where we're at. So, yeah, I know this wasn't my sort of typical go through a long article, break down, give my thoughts. There really wasn't a lot to break down because, yeah, I chose a short Rolling Stone interview. No matter which one of these I click on, I'm sure it's going to be just as small, or if it's longer, it's because it's going to go into each of their backstories like some sort of anime flashback. Like, here, we'll click on this one. So, yeah, we'll go through this article. You know, not the Rolling Stone one. This one's from Mike. Two paragraphs here, the tweet, not even a paragraph, 2 paragraphs, and then new article about Hollywood's nepotism babies. Like, there's not even enough information to justify an entire article. They've put this on the same page with another article. So why do we have news outlets after news outlets covering this 2 pages worth before I even continue, when it's just like 4 paragraphs? And even then, that's stretching it, because the news is Andrew Tate said something dumb. Greta responded with something funny. Andrew Tate responded with something that used to be funny but is played out. Next article. Like, that's a paragraph and a half maybe if you want to really frill it up. So why are we okay with these companies putting out effectively the same article over and over to generate different kinds of clicks? I know that we don't need a monopoly on the news, but don't you think there's more important stuff that could be being covered? That's really all I have to say. I hope this made you think. I hope this made you laugh, and in some small part infuriated you the way it infuriates me. So please, like, comment, and subscribe. I would really appreciate the subscription. I am trying to grow this channel. Don't worry, most of my videos are a lot more in-depth, but this just, I want to rant a bit and also point out something a bit funny. And watch my Chainsaw Man review if you're an anime fan. Follow me on Twitter at BoltTheWord, because this has been Words of Paradise.